So the last bill, there was some talk that Democrats were going to fight harder for more money for vote by mail, and you stood down at the end of the day because the speed was necessary. Are you guys going to stick to your guns here on this? And if there is not money for 50 state mail-in balloting, you're not going to support a bailout?
So right now, we were able to put about $300 million into helping states with the next election. But I'd like to have oversight legislation passed now that would basically say allow every person to vote, whether they can have access to vote by mail or early voting or curbside voting for seniors or the disabled, making sure there's different ways to actually get your vote counted in each state. I think we need it. I think we need resources to go to every state and then a panoply of ideas about what they can do to make sure every person votes. We saw the debacle in Wisconsin. People were left without being able to vote because the lines were too long. They weren't necessarily protected. And so if we have an election, we need to know that everyone who votes can be protected, that their vote will count, and that there's enough time for everyone's vote to be counted. And that's why early voting is going to be hopefully accommodated in every state.
So it sounds like you're not telling states how they should do it, whether it's universal mail, universal absentee. Then the mandate would simply be you better have access for all of these things. If you choose to do drive-through, great. If you choose to do an early vote polling place, great, but you have to have multiple points of access?
Yes. I mean, what I'd like to see is the Senate write a bill. We have a bill now that does with some of these things, but maybe even a broader bill with resources attached to it to guarantee that every state has a measure of access that legitimately meets the needs of this moment we're in. And maybe to have a federal certification that